Adam, GWS, it's a tough challenge now, isn't it, going over there playing them on their home ground?
Oh, yeah, look, they're a top four side at the moment, and they don't look like slowing up. So they'll have plenty of confidence, but at the same time, we've felt like we ticked a few boxes on the weekend ourselves, so we go over there with some confidence ourselves.
I think Leon Cameron said yesterday he felt like you guys were getting back somewhere near your best. Is that how it feels? You sort of maybe on the upward curve?
Oh, look, I thought the second half of the Fremantle game, we played some really good football. We know Fremantle have been hurt by injuries and form as well, so we're not overplaying the game, but I thought the second half looked pretty solid with the type of brand footy we're playing.
Simo, are you happy? You've been looking for that even spread through the midfield. Are you happy and also sharing the load with Luke and Matt and Gaff? Are you happy with the way that's going at the moment?
Oh, look, on the weekend I thought, you know, one of the reasons why we had more of an even contribution is because of those players like, you know, Maston and obviously Hutchings and these guys. So, look, when they all perform and play their part, we look like a better side, no doubt. But I think every club would go through those scenarios as well. You know, you want your good players playing well, but you want your role players playing their role as well.
It's crucial, isn't it, that even spread?
Well, if we're going to compete this year, if we're going to push towards the top part of the eight, we're going to have a pretty solid four-quarter contribution from all our players for sure.
Is this the most relentless running team in the competition that you'll face, you think, GWS?
Look, I think we had a good look at the vision. Yeah, they are a very good running side, but the contested stuff's their main strength and what they do from stoppages as well. So I think it'd be too simplistic with respect to say that they're just a hard running side. I think every side has that capability and they've got some elite runners, but what they do with the contest is probably their main strength. So we need to match that.
That gives them the confidence to run, perhaps?
Well, you'd think that's, their number one scoring side from stoppages. So, and the way they spread and run from there is pretty impressive, but I like to think we've got some good runners as well.
Do you look forward to the next 3 weeks with some anticipation in that you get to measure yourself as to exactly where you're at ahead of the first week in September? Because you're there now. Yeah,
well, I said this on the weekend. The audit's for us in the next 3 weeks, so a lot of questions will be answered. Having said that, I'm pretty sure we've qualified for finals, so regardless of what happens, we'll still be having a crack end of the season. But I think we'll get a really clear indication of where we're at in the next 3 weeks.
Do you I know you take it 1 week at a time, but do you now you know you're in the finals, do you target where you're going to finish or where you would like to finish, the ultimate position for you?
As high as we can. Yeah, we're not going to be managing our list towards the end of the year. So we're going to throw everything at this game and we'll throw everything at the next game. So we're not in a position to take anything lightly and we're still looking for our best form. Thought there was good signs in the weekend, so we won't be looking anything past this game, and it's one of the biggest challenges in footy.
Did Nick recover well? Did Nick recover well and pulled up well?
Yeah, he recovered pretty well. He trained last night, did extras after training, and I think it was an important game for him to get that under his belt. And we'll look for a little bit more from him this week, but yeah, his body's pretty good.
Will Sherry Wellingham's foot be okay? Will he get up?
Yeah, we had to manage that this week. So he'll 6-day break, a bit of a travel. So we're travelling today. So we'll see how he goes captain's run, but he's in the side at the moment. So.
And how's Sam Butler, do you reckon?
He'll be available. Yeah, he was a 1 weeker. It's just a bit of a groin, so he's definitely in the mix, and he'll be travelling with us as well.
Simo, if you had to rethink defensively, Tom Barrass has come on so well. Defence was very good in the second half. Eric McKenzie, if you had to rethink, or if you just have the same philosophy on how your defence is going to balance out, no matter who's playing well form-wise?
That's a good question. We're playing 3 tall defenders this year, and sometimes it's been different personnel. But this week in particular, they've got some seriously dangerous talls. So we'll be playing the 3 talls this week. And Tommy's been a really good progression for us. Really proud of how he's going. Surprised he hasn't won the Rising Star Award yet.
Yeah.
But pretty hard to do it down back, I suppose. But his level of maturity on field in particular has been, we've been really happy with his progression.
So when you say the 3 talls, where you're saying Barrass, do you count Schofield, McGovern, or does McKenzie come in as well?
Well, there's 3 spots there. So I would have thought Tom's done enough to hold his position, that's for sure.
They tend to draw a fair bit of inspiration and momentum from Mumford in the ruck. How important is it for Nick and Scott Lysette to make an impact on his influence on the game?
It's becoming a really fierce battle every week in the ruck. I think the presence, anyone who suggests that ruckmen aren't important these days, just have a look at the top teams and how important they are. Definitely important for us, and I reckon the Giants are the same. So 2 A-grade ruckmen, and hopefully we've got Scott Lysett coming through as well who can help out with Nick. But there'll be a lot of weight around that contest for sure.
Do you ask them? Nick plays pretty physical anyway.
Yeah.
That's almost Mumford's brand, isn't it? Do you ask Nick to emphasise the physicality of his game this week?
I think both ruckmen aren't intimidated about playing against each other, put it that way.
How difficult or concerning is the consecutive 6-day breaks at this time of year? You've got another one coming up next
Yeah.
week.
Oh, it's just part of footy. We seem to cop a fair few with the travel as well, so that's not the request we put in every year. But that's just the way it is. So we're not complaining. We train at night during the weeks in a 6-day break, and the boys get up for it. So we definitely won't use that as an excuse.
You say you don't put that in as a request, which is obvious, but do you request not to have that and they do it anyway?
Yeah, look, I've only been here this is my 3rd year, and I reckon that 28 years Niz has been here, he's put it in every year, that it's a tough gig doing that with the travel. I reckon we've had more 6-day breaks than any team in the last 10 years. So, but that's not a complaint, that's just reality. So I don't think it falls on deaf ears.
Did you realise the impact that it has before you came here? And do you think now that you're here that maybe there's just a lack of understanding of the impact that sort of thing can have?
Oh, look, I've got more appreciation for the travel and for managing your list as best you can in a tough long season. It's a marathon, so we do look at those breaks as every club would. Those 6-day breaks are important to manage your players well. You don't get to train too much. You train a lot less over here. I'm sure Fremantle the same. But it's not a complaint, that's just reality. It's a national competition and we're a bit further away than other teams, so we deal with that, we're not complaining. It's just part of the game, but sometimes the draw would be good to go our way a little bit.
But do you think it should be an is what it is situation where you just say, oh well, Perth's over there, so therefore put up with it, or whether there should be a greater understanding that Perth is over there, so therefore that should be taken into account?
Oh, just a balance. Yeah, just look for a balance with it. Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into the conversation because I've got other things I need to worry about. I'll let the footy club worry about that.
Give us an update on Lewis Jetta. Is he improving at all?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, look, he's not far off. He's in our squad, and we'll make a decision this afternoon. So we have to wait and see on that. But his attitude's been really good. Obviously, it hasn't been the greatest of years for him, but we can see a future with him. And it's just continue to work on some of the things that he needs to improve on, but also playing to his strengths as well. So we'll find out this afternoon if he's playing.
Given his finals experience, is it important to get him up and running and have that option in September?
Oh, we'd love to have all of our players with that experience up and running. He's a very important player to us, along with Jack Redden and Eric McKenzie and these guys as well. So it's important to have that depth of your list. And with our injuries at the moment, we've got a healthy squad. So you've got to earn your spot as well.
How did you see Eric's game in the bottle last week?
He was under the pump. Yeah, there was 60 or 70 inside 50s that East Perth had to deal with, and the pressure wasn't as good as it should have been up the ground. So I thought he held his own. Yeah, that he wasn't. He's not far off his good form, but at the moment there's pretty healthy competition for those spots.
So, hey, coaching-wise, 3rd year, do you feel you can take a more strategic look at things, or does it still feel like it's just a mad scurry to the finish line? Do you feel you're getting a bit more of a handle on it, delegating things and watching? Is it?
Yeah, look, the delegation stuff, we're growing together as a coaching group where we're at. It's probably our players have more of an understanding of what makes us look good and makes us play well. So education on the finer points of the game is probably not as stringent. You know, we sort of know what we need to do, and it's more based around mindset now, getting our players up and playing their best football, and trying to get individuals in form is probably the main focus at the moment.
Do you feel like you're getting more of a handle on it, or is it something you probably never quite get?
I think you get better with experience. I think, if I hang around long enough, I'll be a better coach in years to come. But, you're learning all the time.
Did Xavier Ellis talk to you before he made his... Oh, obviously he did. But,
Oh, yeah, he didn't.
Was that
yeah.
a bit of a shock coming that early, or no?
Oh, yes and no. He's been battling with his body. Unfortunately, he's got an elite football brain and he's got a poor football body. And look, he played 45 games for our club, East Perth, and at senior level. And I think he came over playing 2 or 3 games in 2 or 3 years. So really proud that we got him up to that level. Played in the grand final, contributed really well to the footy club, and I think he's got a future in coaching. He's got a really smart football brain, and you don't need an elite body to be a coach. So he'll be on the lookout. He's been educating himself as best he can to upskill himself for the next phase of his life. So we'll back him in any chance we can get.
So clearly, Hawthorn's a club with a high football IQ. Was he one of the smarter players you worked with when you were at Hawthorn?
Yeah, look, he gets the game. He really understands, and he's part of the reason why we got him over to the club to help educate on what we see as the modern game. And he was very important in the first couple of years to help educate our players. And he knew what I was thinking a lot. So to have him there as an ally, and then to get him to play some really good footy as well. He's been a good contributor for our last couple of years.
So despite his physical battles this year in particular, is he a significant loss for you just because of that intellectual input, if you like?
Yeah, at his best he would have been in our best 18, physically, but he just couldn't get his body up. So, he played 17 games last year, so we've missed him a little bit.
Talking coaching, is there any more on Summer and something that's going to happen over there?
You're asking the wrong club. Yeah, I've got my coaches and we've got a finals campaign to work towards, so that's not a conversation I need to have.
And the home final, that's the big goal now, is it? Trying to get a home final, is that most important?
Look, not thinking about that really. It's how do we play well against a top 4 side away from home is our challenge, and that's this week. So if we're good enough, we'll get up there. But at the moment, we're not looking at that really. It hasn't been a conversation.
So I know you were asked about Andrew Gaff post-match about how he handled the tag. Have you worked on that this week with him about what might happen going forward?
Oh, I thought he handled it well. I mean, he's one of our best midfielders, and he was shut down there for a while, but he did a lot of things for the team that we were happy with. And look, he broke away in the last quarter and a half. He had 20 possessions and, kicked a goal. So we understand that it's not going to work his way all the time, but it was a pretty tight tag, and we accept that. But he worked through it pretty well.
How do you handle their bounce out of the back? And like Shaw and Wilson and Williams, if they get running? Yeah,
they're elite with their rebound. So when we're at our best, we're pretty good at keeping in our front half. So we'll get the supply right, and then we'll try and keep it in there. Pretty basic.
Some good signs from Lecker in that second half towards the end of the game. Bit of the old.
Yeah, look, I think Lecker's he's had a couple of off games this year, but overall we've been pretty happy with his performances. There's obviously his standards are so high, and expectations, on himself are really high as well. So it really stands out when he doesn't perform at his best. But 18 touches, 3 goals. That to expect that every week. He's a good player. He's an A-grade player. We'd love to get that, but it doesn't happen every week for him. But on the weekend there was good signs.
Is that the same with Jack? Because I think he didn't have a kick in the first half last week.
Yeah, and he ended up with 17 or 18 touches. So, these guys, and that's part of the mental strength we need to work through patches of form in games. That you can have bad quarters but still have a good game. And I thought we had some players down in the first half, and they responded really well. So that's a good challenge for us.